The wounded monster in the snow. The wind howled like a dying animal as Lena trudged through the deep snow. Her breath came out in white puffs, her fingers numb inside her torn gloves. The frozen forest was silent, too silent. No birds, no rustling. Leaves, just the crunch of her boots breaking the ice. Stupid, 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 she muttered. Coming out here alone was a mistake. But the abandoned supply bunker was her last hope. If she didn't find food soon, she wouldn't survive the winter. Then she saw it. A trail of thick, black blood stained the snow ahead. Her heart pounded. Something was hurt. Something big. Lena gripped her knife and followed the blood. The trail led to a huge dark shape slumped against a tree. At first, she thought it was a dead animal. Then it moved. Her blood turned to ice. It wasn't an animal. It was a Kraxar, one of the alien predators that hunted humans for sport. The creature's armored body was covered in deep wounds. One of its 4 eyes was swollen shut, and its clawed hands trembled weakly. A broken spear stuck out from its side, oozing black blood. Lena's first thought, run. But then, the Kraxar made a sound. Not a growl, not a snarl. A whimper. It was dying. She should leave it. Kraxar showed no mercy. To humans, they ripped through colonies like nightmares made real. Yet, the predator's chest rose weakly. Its remaining eyes flickered open golden, like fire, and locked onto her. Lena expected hatred, fury. Instead, she saw pain, just like hers. Her hand shook as she raised the knife. One quick stab, and the monster would be gone. One less killer in the universe. But then a memory flashed. Her little brother, years ago, holding a wounded wolf pup. It scared Lena, just like us. Her breath caught. Slowly she lowered the knife. The Kraxar's breathing grew weaker. Black blood pooled in the snow. "Don't die," she whispered, stepping closer. I need you." She didn't know why she said it. Maybe because alone, she was dead anyway. Maybe because the universe had taken enough from her. Or maybe because for the first time, she saw something human in the monster's eyes. The Kraxar let out a weak growl but didn't attack. Lena took a deep breath. Then she reached for the broken spear in its side. This is a mistake. This is suicide. But she pulled anyway. The Kraxar roared in pain, then collapsed, unconscious. Silence returned to the forest. Lena stared at the fallen predator, at the blood on her hands. What have I done? Then a noise in the trees, snapping branches, heavy footsteps. Not human. Her stomach dropped. Something else was coming, and it was close. The predator's death. Lena froze. The footsteps in the trees were getting louder. Closer. Her knife felt small in her hand. Too small. If another Kraxar found her now, she was dead. She looked at the unconscious predator at her feet. Its chest still rose barely. She could still run. Leave it behind. But then, a voice crackled from a device on the Kraxar's belt. A harsh alien language, but one word stood out: traitor. Lena's eyes widened. This Kraxar wasn't just wounded. It was hunted. A branch snapped behind her. She spun, just as 3 figures emerged from the trees. Not KR, AXXAR, worse, VELNA, RI hunters. Tall, insect-like, with too many arms and eyes that glowed sickly green. The galaxy's deadliest bounty killers. And they were staring right at her. The lead hunter hissed, raising a curved blade. "Human, you die slow for touching our prey." Lena's heart hammered. She backed upright into the Kraxar's body. Then, a deep, guttural growl rumbled beneath her. The Kraxar's eyes snapped open. Before Lena could move, a massive clawed hand wrapped around her waist, yanking her behind its body. The Kraxar stood, towering over her, its wounds still dripping. Black blood. It bared its fangs at the hunters, that the Velnari hesitated. The Kraxar spoke, a rough, broken voice, like rocks grinding together. Mine. Lena didn't understand. Was it calling her its prey? Its property? The lead hunter hissed again. The traitor lives. Kill both. The Kraxar moved, faster than anything that big should. One moment it was in front of her, the next, it ripped the lead hunter's arm clean off. Black blood sprayed the snow. The other two hunters attacked. Blades flashed. The Kraxar roared, taking. A slash across its chest, but it didn't stop. It grabbed the second hunter and slammed it into a tree so hard the trunk cracked. The last hunter lunged at Lena Dot. She barely dodged, falling into the snow. The hunter raised its blade. A clawed fist punched straight through its chest. The Kraxar yanked its arm back, letting the dead hunter drop. Silence. Lena stared, breathing hard. The Kraxar stood over her, its golden eyes burning. Blood dripped from its wounds. From its claws. It could kill her now, easily. Instead, it tilted its head. Why? It growled. Lena blinked. Why? What? The Kraxar pointed at its wounds, where she had pulled out the spear. Why help? Lena swallowed. The truth spilled out before she could stop it, because no one else would. The Kraxar stared at her, long, hard. Then a distant horn blast echoed. Through the trees, the Kraxar's head snapped up. Its ears twitched. Lena knew that sound. Velnari war call. More were coming. Lots more. The predator looked down at her. Then, to her shock, it knelt, offering its back. Climb or die. Lena didn't hesitate. She grabbed onto its armored shoulders as it sprinted into the frozen dark. Behind them, the hunter's screams followed. Blood-packed in the snowstorm, with fresh twists that will shock your audience. The frozen forest exploded into chaos as the Kraxar carried Lena through the blizzard. Its massive body moved with terrifying speed, but the Velnari hunters were faster. Energy bolts sizzled past them, melting snow into steaming craters. Shocking revelation, the Kraxar suddenly stumbled. Its wounds weren't just from battle. Poison pulsed through its veins. VELNARI ... venom, it growled. Weakens. My kind. Lena's survival instincts screamed to abandon it. Then she noticed something impossible. The predator was deliberately shielding her with its body as projectiles flew. Unique twist. When they crashed behind a glacial ridge, Lena spotted markings on the Kraxar's armor. Not war symbols, scientific notations. This wasn't just a warrior. It was something far more dangerous. The game changer. As the hunters closed in, the dying Kraxar did the unthinkable. It handed Lena its plasma cannon. You ... fight ... human way. The weapon molded to her human grip, its alien tech adapting impossibly fast. Cliffhanger. Just as Lena prepared to make her last stand, the ice beneath them cracked open, revealing a hidden underground human resistance. Base that shouldn't exist. A scarred soldier emerged, rifle raised, and uttered words that changed everything. Lena, we thought you died in the purge. And why are you with him? Why this works. Introduces venom weakness, a clever way to keep powerful. Kraxar, from being invincible, reveals scientist background, making this predator uniquely intelligent. ROE reversal. Human-wielding alien tech creates awesome visual MYSTRY. BASE introduces new faction and shared history with Lena Pierre Zonal connection. Soldier recognizes her, adding deep backstory. The Underground War, with mind-blowing new twists that will leave your audience speechless. Ice Cave Arivi Lat Owen the Resistance. Base wasn't just hidden, it was built inside the ribcage of a dead cosmic beast. Bioluminescent veins still pulsed in the frozen bones, as Lena followed the soldier through the eerie blue glow. Shocking HOR. Scarred soldier. Jocks revealed the truth. This Kraxar isn't just a scientist, it's the architect of their war. Machines, and it defected. The Predator growled as Jock showed Lena footage of human cities burning from weapons this specific Kraxar had designed. Blood Beaterele Lena turned on the Kraxar in rage until it activated a hologram showing human generals shaking hands with Velnari overlords. Your leaders ... sold your weak colonies. For peace, it rasped. The purge wasn't an invasion, it was a cleanup operation. Unique misi NIC. The cave's pulsating veins reacted to the Kraxar's blood, forming living armor round its wounds. Jocks whispered, "This thing's been here before." The bones ... They recognize it. Silai Fei Changier. As Lena processed this, the cave shuddered violently. The Velnari weren't attacking from above. They were tunneling up from below. The last thing they heard before the floor collapsed was a Velnari war priest screaming. The hybrid must not awaken. Why this will blow minds. Game-changing lore. The cosmic beast carcass introduces ancient secrets beyond standard sci-fi. Moral complexity. No clear villains, just shades of betrayal on both sides. Triple twist. Kraxar is a weapons designer humans collaborated in the purge. Something called the hybrid is buried here. Visual spectacle. Living bone armor plus bioluminescent. Warfare creates stunning imagery. The hybrid awakens, the cave's HERB, the ground trembled as the Velnari drill broke through. Lena grabbed the pulsating bone wall. It was warm. Jocks cursed, slamming the emergency bulkhead. "They're not after us," he panted. "They're trying to stop that." Through the closing door, Lena saw it. A massive organic vault, pulsing like a heart at the cave's center. The Kraxar's golden eyes burned with something like ... recognition. No ... double quotes, it growled. They lied. It was never destroyed. Then the floor exploded upward ... as dust cleared. Lena saw the horror. The drill wasn't Velnari. The machines had human markings. Jocks's face went pale. "That's Earth Force tech." The Kraxar snarled, shoving them behind a bone column as energy blasts rained down. Lena's mind reeled. Her own people were attacking. The Kraxar's hologram made terrible sense. Now this was a cover-up. Jocks gripped her arm. "They'll kill us just for seeing this." The Kraxar suddenly went rigid. Its nostrils flared. "The hybrid smells human." Then, voice echoed through the cave, not from speakers, from the walls themselves. Subject L-19 identified. Lena Riker, deceased in records. Interesting. Lena's blood turned to ice. That was her name. The bone walls melted open, revealing a chamber where reality seemed broken. Half human, half Kraxar skeletons floated in glowing tubes. At the center, A. Child.no, a fusion.smooth human skin grafted over Kraxar bone structure. 6 fingers ending in retractable claws. Its eyes snapped open, one brown, one gold. "Mother?" It whispered. The Kraxar made a sound Lena had never heard from its kind, a whimper. Jack staggered back. "Oh God, ... Earth Force has been playing God." They. Hybrid tilted its head. Not Earth Force, him. A hologram flickered to life, a human scientist in Earth Force uniform. The Kraxar roared in recognition. Double quotes, "Dr. Kale," the hybrid said. "My creator. Your ... husband, Lena." The world spun. Lena remembered. White lab coats, her husband's excited voice. "This will end all wars." A night she drowned. A staged death. The Kraxar was breathing hard. "He used my designs ... to make this." It gestured at the hybrid, then tried to kill me. Outside. The drilling grew louder. "They're scared," the hybrid said. "I'm waking up." Then it happened. The hybrid touched Lena, and her mind flooded with memories. Not her own. The betrayal. Her husband injecting the Kraxar scientist with poison mid-handshake they lie. Earth Force telling the galaxy. Kraxar started the hybrid program. The truth. This child was meant to be a peace bridge. Until it started dreaming of war, the hybrid pulled back, crying black tears. I see why they buried me. I'm wrong. The Kraxar did something shocking. It knelt before the child. No, they are wrong. A bone-rattling boom shook the cave. The drill broke through. Earth Force commandos rappelled down, their leader removing his helmet to reveal Dr. Kale, older, colder. Lena? His voice cracked. You died. The hybrid screamed a sound that made the cave walls bleed. Liar. Then the cave came LEV, bones reformed into monstrous guardians. The very air thickened into a protective haze. The Kraxar grabbed Lena and Jax as the hybrid unfolded, growing 6 feet taller in seconds. Dr. Kale's voice echoed. Code Omega. Detonate. The world went white. The fractured galaxy, the aftermath of Lena's ears rang as she crawled through the debris field. What remained of the cave now floated in zero gravity, caught in the dying pull of the planet's shattered crust. The hybrid cradled Dr. Kale's broken body like a doll. Humming a lullaby, Lena remembered singing to their stillborn daughter. Jax vomited as his body adjusted to the sudden weightlessness. The detonation, it wasn't just explosives. They fractured space-time here. Above them, the stars blinked, not twinkling, winking out in perfect sequence. The Kraxar was gone. But something far worse was coming. The hybrid suddenly stiffened. Its mismatched eyes dilated. They're here. Before Lena could ask, the floating debris aligned into perfect geometric shapes. The rocks sang a chorus of crystalline notes that made their teeth vibrate. Then space ripped open, not a wormhole. A mouth. Jax screamed as the cosmic maw yawned wider, revealing a fleet of ships unlike any designed smooth as pearls, with no visible weapons, creatures of living starlight drifting between them, and one vessel breaking formation, diving toward the debris field. The hybrid whispered a name that shouldn't exist. The Kunlan, the first betrayers. The alien ship extended a shimmering bridge made of music toward them. The Kraxar's voice suddenly boomed from everywhere at once. Do not trust their peace. They made the hybrid possible. Lena whirled, no sign of the predator, just its voice vibrating through the rocks. The Kunlan emissary stepped onto the bridge. 7 feet tall, with 6-fingered hands and skin that shifted between transparency and solidity. It spoke without moving its mouth. We come to correct an error. The hybrid was never meant to wake, and it did the unthinkable. It bowed to Lena. Especially, not to you, mother of the broken song. The emissary's touch flooded Lena with new old memories. The first experiment, millennia ago. The Kunlan merged Kraxar and human DNA, successfully creating the first hybrids as peacekeepers. The flaw. The hybrids developed a shared dreaming. Consciousness. The catastrophe. When one hybrid died in battle, every hybrid in the galaxy felt it and went mad simultaneously. Jax. That's why Earth Force buried the project. They rediscovered this. The emissary nodded. Your husband thought he could fix the flaw. He was wrong. The hybrid clutched its head, screaming as thousands of voices poured into its mind. The other hybrids are waking. Space itself convulsed, as on Earth. A secret bunker's walls collapsed to reveal a hibernating hybridon Kraxar Prime, the Royal. Palace's foundations cracked, opening Velnari territory. War fleets scrambled as their sacred relics began moving. Dr. Kale stirred in the hybrid's arms, whispering, Lena. The cure is in your. His hand fell limp. The Kunlan emissary suddenly fractured, its body splitting into hundreds of glass-like shards that formed a map a pulsar, a dead world, and Earth, connected by lines of golden light. The Krexar's voice returned, weaker now. The cure is where it started, where I'm trapped. Lena's left arm burned a tattoo. She didn't remember getting glowed under her skin. GPS coordinates in ancient Krexar script. Jax's eyes widened. That's the exact location where we found you with the wounded Krexar. The hybrid spasmed. As more voices joined its mind, they're killing us again. The Kunlan shards reformed into a terrified emissary. You must choose now. Help us contain this, or witness galactic genocide. Then the impossible HAP&D, the debris field folded like paper, revealing the Krexar scientists suspended in a golden energy field, countless hybrid embryos floating in preservation tanks, and a massive machine humming with the same energy as Lena's tattoo. The Krexar's voice came clear now. Your husband stole my mind. Lena, my consciousness has been powering this machine for years. The body you saved was just a shell. The hybrid let out a sound that shattered nearby rocks. Father? Space tore again as the first fully grown hybrid warships began emerging across the galaxy, each one singing a different note of the same terrible song. The Kunlan emissary grabbed Lena's glowing arm. There's one way to stop this. But it requires what the Krexar scientist hid inside you. Jax aimed his rifle. What did it hide? The emissary's face melted into a perfect replica of Lena's own. The last uncorrupted hybrid gene sequence. The real cure. And it's killing her, roared the Krexar's trapped mind. Lena's nose began bleeding black. The black blood dripping from Lena's nose wasn't blood at all. It moved tiny. Thread-like tendrils of liquid metal swirled in the air between her and the Kunlan emissary, reacting to the hybrid screams. The emissary recoiled its shifting, face flickering through a dozen alien expressions before settling on something disturbingly close to fear. It's already rewriting her, it whispered. JX grabbed Lena's shoulders. Her skin was burning. What the hell does that mean? The answer came from the last place they expected. Dr. Kale's corpse twitched. His dead lips parted. The voice that emerged wasn't human. Wasn't KRAXXAR. It was the hybrid collective. It means she was never just a carrier. Kale's body stood without bending its knees. His broken neck lolled grotesquely as the voice continued. Lena Riker died in that lake. What crawled out was our first successful rebirth. The memory of Daro Dablin Silane's vision shattered into fragments of the past, ice cracking under her boots as she fled the research facility, her husband's voice screaming, "It has to be you." The bond requires maternal DNA. Dark water filling her, lungs as the ice gave way, and then waking up dry, with gold flecks in her eyes. The hybrid reached for her now, its childlike face twisted in sorrow. You're our mother and our martyr. The sequence inside you isn't a cure. It's a kill switch. The Kunlan emissary raised its six-fingered hands. We designed it to end the experiment if the dreaming turned violent again. Your husband hid it in your resurrection. Jax looked like he might be sick. So you're saying Lena's basically a walking genocide bomb? The Krexar's consciousness roared through the chamber, shaking the floating debris. Nitrogen monoxide. She's the only one who can choose. The CHOIC, the machine at the chamber center, activated, projecting 3 pulsating options into the air. Eradication. Purge all hybrid consciousness from the galaxy UNIFICAT. Merge all hybrids into a single peaceful entity, Libi-Ion. Free. Them to evolve beyond their programming. The Kunlan emissary stepped toward the first option. The experiment failed. We must. The hybrid moved faster than light. One moment it stood by Lena, the next. Its claws tore through the emissary's chest. We are done being your experiment. The chamber trembled as distant explosions echoed the awakened hybrid fleets. We're attacking everything. Kunlan, Velneri, human, Kraxar. No sides, just fury. Lena's veins burned hotter. The kill switch was activating. She locked eyes with the Kraxar's trapped consciousness. You knew, from the moment you smelled me in those woods. A pulse of sorrow radiated from its energy prison. I knew you were the only one who could understand being both prey and predator. The final Viazelina stepped toward the machine. Jax grabbed her arm. You don't have to do this. We can find another. She touched his face. There are no other ways, only choices. Then she chose none of the options. Instead, she plunged her hands into the machine's core and rewrote the song. The chamber exploded with golden light as the Kunlan ships froze mid-attack, raging. Hybrids stopped screaming, and across the galaxy, every hybrid turned toward Earth. The last thing Lena heard before the light consumed her was the child, Hybrid's awestruck whisper. You gave us lullabies instead of war. Epilogue. 1 year LAT Arjax stood on a rebuilt Earth, watching the sky. The hybrid fleets had become gardeners, terraforming dead worlds with their song. The Kraxar's consciousness lived on in their network. And drifting between the stars, a single Kunlan probe broadcast the same message on loop. We were wrong. The experiment was never the hybrids. It was her. As Jax turned away, he caught a glimpse of something impossible, a woman with gold flecked eyes watching from the crowd. Then she was gone, but the wind carried a familiar hum, almost like a lullaby. The end. Or is IT?